Since Zani's release in 2.3, I've noticed quite a large amount of doom posting surrounding her kit and how it feels bad to play her. While I won't deny the fact that Zani's performance is significantly hindered by the absence of Phoebe in the team, I can confidently say that Zani is 100% the most fun character to play for me, and that's coming from someone who has played the game since launch and has built and tested every single limited character in the game. While her performance in Whimpering Waste is mediocre in comparison to some of the other DPSs, at least when we don't have Spectral Frazzle tokens like we did when she first released, she has always been among the top, if not the top performer for me in Tower of Adversity. In this video, I will showcase 2 middle tower runs with her, one on floor 2 and one on floor 4. While the floor 2 has an area effect that more so nerfs Zani rather than buffs, as it gives the enemy a spectral res increase of 10% and it only gives her 1 out of 3 stacks of the attribute damage and attack increase on the second line, this Zani team performed only 5 seconds slower than the best Augusta run I was able to achieve, despite the floor effect buffs being designed to cater to the Sun and Moon duo. Looking at floor 4, Zani benefits equally as anyone else from the general overtime increase on the first line. She does benefit from the heavy attack bonus, but receives nothing from the echo skill bonus on the second line, and if I'm not mistaken, is nerfed by the effect on the third line, as Phoebe applying Spectral Frazzle stack should be increasing the enemy's defense up to 30%. She still performed 20 seconds faster than Galbrenna despite the buffs being catered to her. Now, I'm not saying that Zani will always be the best performer for every single player, but I just wanted to provide these showcases and give you a step-by-step breakdown so that you have the tools to better your Zani gameplay and have fun using her despite all the negativity being thrown around her. Now let's get into it.
Stay calm. In war with time. Loaded. Sentinel protected. Purified. Power of the Sentinel.
I can spare a minute to knock some heads around. Reduce to dust. Come at me.
Go! It's crystals. Give me strength.
In my way.
Go!
Stand in my way. Huh? That's alright.
Ordained. I engraft you new. Loading. Sentinel protected. Power.
No go.
Sentinel.
All of you at once. I don't do overtime. Reduce to dust. Come at me.
Go! Mover! Be my salvation!
In my way.
Vow from the soul.
I have a report to write.
In war with time. Loaded. Sentinel protected. Power.
Shut.
The Sentinel.
I don't have all day.
Go!
Stand
Over there!
in my way. Come at me.
Answer me! Ordained.
What a waste of time. All yours.
Astral modulation. Load. Sentinel protection. Power.
Shut.
Sentinel.
All of you at once. I don't do overtime.
Go!
Stand in my way. All yours.
Ordained. In war with time. Let Sentinel protect me. Silence! To the power
No
of the
contest.
Sentinel.
I don't have all day. Reduce to dust.
Answer me! Mover! Be my salvation!
Come at me.
Go! Stand in my way! Oath from the heart.
I want to run down just like a couple of the simple texts real quick. First thing is this attack right here. You'll notice that doing that filled up her bar like all the way. That enables this heavy attack, which gives her the buff that you want to do right before you use your liberation. If you do the attack right now too soon, she'll do this attack instead of the one where she throws the shield out. So what you can do is you skill basic to put her in that sat down position, which right now as I come back off of Phoebe, she's going to still be sitting down. Then you can do that and you can switch off of her while she does that, and it will still be full when you switch back to her. Okay, the next part is regarding if you want to try to swap out of this special skill heavy attack, you want to make sure you don't do it too soon. If I switch as soon as I like press it, she won't go through the attack. You have to like let her start it and then switch. It's just one thing to keep in mind if you're like trying different things, especially if you were trying to quick swap with a Spectre Rover as well. I didn't go into that in this video because I wanted to just kind of have like a simpler, like a simple like segue into at least trying some swaps with Zani. I feel like it gets a little more complicated when you introduce Rover into it, but I feel like the Phoebe Shorekeeper is one that really anyone can do. I feel like it's just more of the easier segue into that stuff. But that's just something else to keep in mind. And then the last one really that we're worried about is 1, 2, 3. As soon as you press the third one, then you can start switching. Boom. Those are really the only swaps needed to like understand or be able to mechanically input to do what I'm showcasing in this video. So it's really not that hard, at least in comparison to like some of the other quick swap things that people do when they're just going crazy, you know, switching from 3 people super fast. This is really only switching between 2 people, and it's switching between like super long hit animation windows. Okay, now going to the film review portion of breaking down these runs. I'm just skilling with Zani, then hitting a normal attack. Literally as soon as you like input that normal attack button, you'll hear the feedback and you're available to start switching to Phoebe right away. Also keep in mind, the enemy isn't even spawned in yet, but that doesn't really matter here. Like, it doesn't really matter if I'm actually landing this skill or normal attack. All that matters is that I'm putting Zani into the position where she sat down on the chair and is able to do that follow-up really long swing that fills up her forte when I switch back to her after this. So then I swap to Phoebe. As soon as I swap to Phoebe, I'm holding the skill button. I'm playing on controller, so I'm holding R2. I don't know what I'm assuming it's E on mouse and keyboard. Whatever your skill button is, you're holding it as soon as you're switching to Phoebe, and as soon as she like starts to do the animation, then you can cancel it and start her liberation. One thing to keep in mind is like it is possible, it's happened to me before, where like I'll liberation too fast. Like, you do have to wait a little bit for her to actually start to go through of going into the confession state. So that's just one thing to keep in mind here. But finish the confession, go into liberation, then swap to Zani. And literally, like, as soon as I'm swapping to Zani, I'm just inputting one normal attack button and then immediately switching to Shorekeeper. It's like hard to see visually, but it's something that you can do very quick. I'm just spamming normals with Shorekeeper, doing the heavy attack and skill, spamming normals again just until he tries this attack right here, and I'm just going to use that to get a dodge in and start filling up my concerto. Get a few normals in. At this point, I'm already ready to go with like hitting my liberation, and my concerto will be topped up. But I'm just waiting a little bit longer just to wait for his next attack to come through so that I can iframe that with their liberation. And then at this point, I'm able to echo and then swap to Phoebe. I'm able to get one heavy attack, Starflash I think it's called, with Phoebe. And the timing lines up perfectly to where I can do her next heavy attack with a dodge counter from his next attack here. And at this point, I'm already ready to go. I could echo and swap into Zani like pretty quick here, But for this specific run and like the timing of his attack, I kind of slow it down just a little bit so that I'm able to time her first counter once she's in her liberation state with this like big smack from the gorilla here. One thing to keep in mind with Zani, with their special skill that you do before the liberation, you don't need to like let the whole attack go through. As I showed earlier on the court rundown, it is possible that you can cancel it too early. Really, all you're looking for is just the visual indicator of that buff icon there, and once you see that, you're good to go. So I kind of wait for that timing to happen and then liberation, and things line up perfectly to where I'm able to hit that perfect counter here. As soon as I'm inputting the third attack input, which starts her heavy attack, the really long animation one, I'm swapping to Shorekeeper here just because I know it's too early to swap back into Phoebe. I know that Phoebe's confession state is still on cooldown just from other runs I was doing, so I just take this opportunity to hit some Shorekeeper normal attacks and skill. And I could swap to Zani even earlier and start trying a next attack here. However, I just found it was better in my case here to just stay on Shorekeeper a little longer and just keep spamming normals literally until it's perfect timing of this gorilla's about to do the next attack, and then I can swap into Zani and time a perfect parry for her next attack. I do her second heavy attack, and then by this point I do know that Phoebe's confession state is off cooldown, or if not, going to be off cooldown very soon. So I swap to her, it is off cooldown, I enter confession state and quickly hit a liberation, and I just take a little bit more time just to get one of her heavy attack strings in too before I swap to Zani, and I'm able to get in one more heavy attack while her buffed uptime is still up from her special skill that we did before the liberation. And at this point, I know that if I were to try to swap between anyone, I would be using her intro or her Zani's outro skill, but I don't want to use that just yet. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer, hit her liberation finisher, and then I'll be able to use it just to hit Shorekeeper's enhanced intro. But before I do that, I quickly skill in normal attack, then swap to Shorekeeper, which that's like we did earlier. That's going to put Zani in the sit down on the chair state. I just hit like a normal 2 on Shorekeeper, and her outro is already ready to go from what I was doing earlier. Go into Phoebe, get one normal attack, get one heavy attack string in, and her outro is already ready to go as well. Echo on Zani, get her enhanced skill in, and her liberation is ready to go again already. Get one attack string in here. I kind of get body blocked by the monkey, which is unfortunate, but this still ended up being my best run. As I input that third, the start of her heavy attack, swap to Shorekeeper again here because I know that Phoebe's confession state is still going to be on cooldown again. Get one more attack string in, and then now I swap to Phoebe during this opening. Enter confession mode, hit a liberation. Get one normal attack string in here, swap back to Zani, do one more heavy attack string. And then I'm able to swap to Phoebe again here. As soon as I'm starting to hold the heavy attack on Phoebe, swap into Zani, and then I just quickly hit a liberation. I don't want to waste too much time doing another full heavy string here, just because I know, one, the boss is about to start going AWOL here with like spamming a bunch of crazy attacks, and two, I know that I have basically the next intros lined up ready to go, and I could just break the boss like basically immediately. Do a skill in normal real quick, and then hit the enhanced intro on Shorekeeper, which doesn't fully stun the boss just yet, but she's just about ready to get stunned with the next intro, which I only just need to do a few more normals in liberation with her in order to get that ready. Make sure to echo before I swap out, swap into Phoebe. This breaks the boss. I have some time to just chill. Confession's not ready to go here, but I have my outro ready to go, and so then I'm just going to echo and go into Zani and start to prep to get ready to enter her liberation state here. Get one attack string in, and I swap to Phoebe. I'm still on cooldown, don't really have the time yet, so I'm just going to swap back to Zani. I have enough blaze to do one more heavy attack here before swapping into Phoebe, and now it's going to be ready. Enter confession state, hit a liberation, hit a skill, go back to Zani, and just finish with a liberation here, because I know that if this doesn't kill the boss, for sure, I know Shorekeeper's intro is going to finish it off. And that's really all there is to it. I'm going to let this other floor run through and just kind of ramble on a little bit. What makes Zani feel so good to play for me, specifically in Tower of Adversity, is I don't know if people forget this. She does have increased vibration damage, so she can help stun bosses or in general stun anyone like pretty dang quick. And especially when you're playing this like quick swap playstyle of swapping around, feeding intros and all that, on top of just Zani's ability to just like do like raw vibrational damage to everyone like very well, it makes playing against these bosses they can be really annoying, or like enter these like crazy states where they just start spamming attacks to where you're either countering those attacks or you just quickly stun them to the point where you don't even let them really enter that state to begin with. Which, if you notice throughout both of these showcases, Fleur-de-Lis and Crownless are two enemies that can be very annoying with things like that, and you'll notice that they spend most of the time in these showcases just stunned. Also, one thing that's kind of crazy is, for the most part, Zani has pretty good auto-targeting. It's kind of hard to see here, but I'm going to run it back to where I'm finishing them off with her like second attack. 1, 2. Yeah, they get finished off with their second attack, and I start the third, her long heavy attack animation, and swap to Shorekeeper, and she just lunges and kind of auto tracks the next enemy that spawns in here. And then he gets finished off kind of at the start of her heavy attack, and then as she follows through in that animation of like lunging up and slamming down, she just auto targets Crownless as soon as he spawns in. It's a little hard to see here because I swap into Phoebe and like start Liberation pretty quick, but you can see it starts to hit him. You start to see the 1-0 kick in, like I think it hit like 100k or something on him. You start to see it kick in there. It's a little hard to see, but that's just one thing that's kind of crazy with her as well, of just like her ability to just like do high damage numbers in between waves and just like auto target enemies, if that makes sense. Obviously she's not like insanely cracked like an AoE, but she does have the ability to do good in situations like that. And that wraps it up for this video. I'm going to showcase builds on the screen real quick. I do have a pretty solid build on Zani. Phoebe stats don't really matter too much. I do have a pretty good damage focused build on Shorekeeper as well here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I have seen comments from people before saying that like Zani is like their most regret pool, or like they pulled her but haven't used her since, don't know how to use her or whatever. If you relate to that, I hope you were able to learn a thing or two from this video, and I hope watching these showcases gave you some inspiration to try her out a bit more. Me personally, I have a lot of fun playing her, and I think she's low-key a sleeper pick, and yeah, I just feel like everyone is sleeping on her, to be honest. But like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.